In the history of the Vatican, transparency regarding the health conditions of a pope has often been cautiously limited, leaving the public uncertain and reliant on speculation. However, his explicit directive to disclose his medical condition without reservation represents a profound shift toward openness. But what drives a pontiff, traditionally viewed as a symbol of strength and stability, to candidly acknowledge his vulnerability? Moreover, how does the acknowledgement of potential danger, while affirming his life isn't immediately at risk, impact the global perception of papal authority? First and foremost, Pope Francis knows how much spiritual and mental care millions of people have for him. By openly acknowledging his delicate health condition, he reaffirms authenticity over idealized strength, bringing comfort through honesty. Additionally, by openly facing vulnerability, he reinforces spiritual teachings on humility and acceptance of human fragility, fundamental aspects of his pastoral message. If you enjoy content that helps you grow spiritually, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join our community for more inspiration. Let's get started. Following the recent urgent medical briefing from Dr. Sergio Alfieri of Rome's Gemelli Polyclinic Hospital, the medical reality confronting the 88-year-old Pope is clearer yet serious. Diagnosed with bilateral pneumonia compounded by a rare polymicrobial infection involving bacteria, fungi, and viruses simultaneously, the pontiff faces significant medical challenges. Alfieri explicitly indicated that the threat remains serious, even though Francis is not imminently close to death. A primary risk factor is the possibility of the infection entering the bloodstream, which would dangerously complicate treatment. Doctors emphasize the careful balancing act in treating Pope Francis. Cortisone therapy, for instance, significantly eases his breathing, but simultaneously reduces immunity and raises blood sugar levels, necessitating meticulous monitoring. Despite these complications, Alfieri pointed out an optimistic factor. Francis maintains robust heart health. Still, chronic asthmatic bronchitis and bronchiectasis are permanent conditions from which full recovery is impossible. Presenting remarkable resilience, the Pope remains determined. Unlike elderly patients confined to rest and minimal activity, Francis continues limited mobility, recently attending brief prayer sessions at the hospital chapel. This vitality, though impressive, contrasts with the careful medical vigilance essential for his recovery. Consequently, hospitalization at the Gemelli Polyclinic is expected to continue at least another full week until bilateral pneumonia is resolved sufficiently for him to safely transition to continued treatment at his residence in Santa Marta. The precise length of his recovery period remains uncertain, reflecting both medical complexities and his advanced age. The medical team outlined clearly defined next steps in his extended treatment. Given the complexity of his polymicrobial infection and accompanying bilateral pneumonia, doctors have established rigorous protocols aimed at fully clearing the infection from his lungs before considering discharge. According to the latest medical updates, complete resolution of pneumonia symptoms must precede any transfer from the hospital to his Santa Marta residence. In these uncertain times, many around the world are joining in prayer, reflecting on the delicate nature of health and life's unforeseen challenges. Moments like these remind us how vital spiritual strength and guidance truly are, especially when we're faced with circumstances beyond our control. This is exactly what the Secret of Jesus' Apparitions offers, a path to clarity and peace through his revelations. This ebook goes into his prophecies and offers insight into what lies ahead. It's available for free in the pinned comment. Grab it now before the edition's gone. Dr. Sergio Alfieri emphasized that the Pope's chronic respiratory issues, specifically bronchiectasis and asthmatic bronchitis, mean that his lungs will require careful long-term management beyond current hospitalization. Medical guidelines prepared by the hospital suggest that even after discharge, Pope Francis will need consistent outpatient respiratory therapy, involving specialized breathing exercises and frequent pulmonary assessments to prevent future exacerbations. Unique to his treatment plan is the delicate balance doctors must maintain. Because cortisone provides essential breathing relief, its careful administration will persist. However, it demands meticulous daily monitoring of blood sugar levels and immune response. Hospital officials also highlighted dietary adjustments designed specifically to manage Pope Francis's glucose levels, pairing nutrition closely with pharmacological interventions. Each meal, crafted by Gemelli's dietary experts, combines nutritional support for immunity enhancement with strict glucose control. They further noted an additional layer of complexity. The Pope's age and natural frailty mean recovery milestones, typically straightforward in younger patients, require extended timelines and continuous reassessment. Consequently, detailed therapeutic timelines must be flexible. Rather than providing firm discharge dates, the medical team will reevaluate his progress weekly, focusing specifically on lung capacity, infection markers, and overall physical strength. Despite these substantial medical hurdles, doctors have expressed cautious optimism, citing his notable compliance and positive psychological outlook as key facilitators of his recovery process. His active participation in short walks and brief spiritual activities under careful supervision has been encouraged by healthcare staff to sustain emotional and physical stamina during hospitalization. This holistic approach aligns closely with the Pope's well-documented preference for integrating spiritual well-being directly with medical care. The decision-making regarding Francis's eventual return to the Santa Marta residence thus rests on two critical medical criteria: complete clearance of bilateral pneumonia and stabilization of his chronic conditions to manageable outpatient levels. Until both objectives are met, his hospitalization at Gemelli remains a necessary precaution, prioritized by Vatican authorities and medical staff alike. The transparent communication regarding his health status reflects not just medical necessity, but an important spiritual choice. Vatican insiders confirmed that this openness stems directly from the pontiff himself, reinforcing his belief in the importance of truthfulness and vulnerability as foundational virtues within his papal mission. By choosing not to obscure the realities of his fragile condition, Francis strengthens his message of humility and compassion, qualities he consistently emphasizes as critical for meaningful spiritual leadership. People in the Vatican have felt the effects of this honest attitude very strongly. In private, church leaders have said they appreciate the Pope's choice and know how important it is for the flock. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State, remarked informally that the Pope's transparency serves as an important reminder of the universal human condition, underscoring the dignity inherent in openly confronting life's uncertainties. This forthrightness carries spiritual resonance worldwide, especially at a time marked by significant global upheaval. With ongoing conflicts such as the war in Ukraine affecting international communities, his clear acknowledgement of personal vulnerability reinforces the authenticity of his repeated calls for peace and reconciliation. His open admission of health challenges humanizes him further, drawing people closer and fostering solidarity across religious and cultural boundaries. As the world awaits further updates on Pope Francis's recovery, take this gentle reminder to secure your exclusive copy of our free ebook. Limited copies remain available, so download yours today. On social media platforms and various global forums, countless faithful have expressed emotional reactions to the Pope's candid health disclosures. Prayer groups from diverse nations, from Poland to Argentina, from Kenya to the Philippines, have organized spontaneous gatherings specifically dedicated to his recovery. Many participants describe being particularly moved by the authenticity demonstrated by Francis's willingness to share his struggles openly, amplifying their sense of spiritual connection with him. Additionally, this transparent stance has energized spiritual reflection within communities of faith worldwide. Religious leaders from different traditions have acknowledged his openness as inspirational, with prominent figures like Archbishop Justin Welby, leader of the Anglican Communion, highlighting how such transparency elevates spiritual discourse beyond traditional boundaries. Welby publicly emphasized that Francis's humility in revealing vulnerability offers a meaningful example for religious leaders everywhere, encouraging deeper empathy, dialogue, and collaboration among different faiths during challenging global times. The international community swiftly responded to the critical health update issued by the Gemelli medical team, prompting immediate reactions from world leaders, religious authorities, and the public at large. Leaders from both secular and religious backgrounds expressed unified support for Pope Francis, signaling the profound global respect the pontiff commands beyond religious lines. Former US President Joe Biden was among the first to issue an official statement, emphasizing solidarity with Pope Francis and offering prayers on behalf of the American people. Similarly, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni communicated her government's firm support, stating that Italy stands ready to provide any assistance needed to ensure optimal medical care. Across Europe, statements of concern and hope were widespread, with French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz both publicly extending their nation's support and wishes for Pope Francis's rapid recovery. Leaders from predominantly non-Christian countries also joined the chorus of well-wishers, underscoring his expansive influence. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi sent a message highlighting the Pope's role as a moral leader, advocating peace and humanitarianism. Simultaneously, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres praised his moral leadership in facing global challenges, reaffirming the organization's solidarity during his hospitalization. Meanwhile, the global media quickly mobilized, covering the hospitalization with round-the-clock reports from Rome. Major news outlets, including the BBC, CNN, and Al Jazeera, dedicated significant coverage, featuring medical experts discussing the potential implications of his condition. Social media platforms, notably Twitter and Instagram, saw rapid trending of hashtags such as #Pray for Pope Francis and #Francis Strong, underscoring widespread public sentiment. This extensive global response translated into spontaneous acts of collective prayer and reflection. Catholic communities worldwide, from Rio de Janeiro's Christ the Redeemer Cathedral to Manila's Quiapo Church, held special masses dedicated explicitly to the pontiff's health. Additionally, interfaith vigils emerged organically, with representatives of Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism gathering together in major cities like New York, Sydney, and Jerusalem to express universal solidarity for Pope Francis. Historically, parallels were quickly drawn with previous papal illnesses, notably Pope John Paul II's hospitalization episodes, illustrating consistent global attentiveness to the health of pontiffs. Analysts and Vatican historians compared the current response to the widespread emotional reaction following Pope John Paul II's critical conditions, noting how Pope Francis similarly galvanizes worldwide attention due to his unique blend of spiritual charisma and humanitarian advocacy. Amid these uncertain times concerning his health, don't forget to claim your free ebook now. Availability is quickly running low. The timing of his hospitalization carries fundamental spiritual significance, intersecting directly with pivotal events in the liturgical calendar. His condition became public precisely during the solemn days surrounding Holy Week, Easter Vigil, and Resurrection Sunday, moments central to Christian reflection on suffering, sacrifice, and renewal. Vatican observers emphasized that the convergence of his medical crisis with these significant observances deepens their symbolic impact, intensifying global prayer and contemplation. During the recent Via Crucis at Rome's Colosseum, led spiritually by Pope Francis before his hospitalization, meditations crafted by families from various backgrounds resonated more deeply due to his health challenges. Faithful attendees reported heightened emotional engagement, identifying more intensely with Christ's passion as they witnessed the Pope's own suffering publicly unfold. Similarly, during the Easter Vigil at St. Peter's Basilica, presided over in his absence, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re underscored Francis's dedication to promoting peace and unity, urging participants to reflect especially on the vulnerability the pontiff openly shares. In addition, his health condition has cast new light on recent Marian devotions, particularly those related to Our Lady of Fatima. Just weeks prior, the Pope himself emphasized Fatima's enduring message of hope and peace, leading prayers symbolically linked to spiritual conversion and healing. Now, in the context of his own fragile health, the Fatima devotion gains an amplified spiritual resonance, as millions worldwide recall the Virgin Mary's message of perseverance through prayer during moments of profound uncertainty. Clergy members reflecting on these recent events highlighted how his condition recontextualizes traditional celebrations, adding layers of meaning previously overlooked. For instance, the Urbi et Orbi blessing, given traditionally by the Pope from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica on Easter Sunday, was notably poignant this year. With Francis unable to preside, its symbolism of hope amid adversity was reinforced, illustrating powerfully the Church's resilience despite moments of personal and collective trials. These spiritually charged moments extend beyond Catholicism alone, influencing other Christian denominations. Leaders from different religions, such as Orthodox Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople, openly spoke of their strong spiritual unity. They said that the pontiff's obvious weakness during such important religious events serves as a universal reminder of how fragile life is and how faith can change things when things are hard. Looking forward, Vatican analysts have begun carefully examining possible scenarios surrounding Pope Francis's continued pontificate, given the delicate nature of his health. Specialists in church governance openly discussed concerns about how his ongoing medical vulnerabilities might impact long-term pastoral projects, particularly his ambitious reforms related to transparency, decentralization, and greater lay involvement. The Vatican's Secretariat of State, in coordination with other key departments, discreetly indicated preparations for managing essential papal responsibilities during this period of medical uncertainty. Experts pointed out the critical importance of maintaining momentum in Francis's initiatives, especially those aimed at tackling clerical abuse, financial accountability, and interfaith dialogue. High-ranking Vatican officials, including Cardinals Michael Czerny and Mario Gresh, reassured the public that Francis's core priorities remain well supported institutionally and strategically, regardless of his current hospitalization. Simultaneously, renowned Vaticanologist Andrea Tornielli underscored that even with health challenges, Pope Francis's leadership style, emphasizing collaboration and synodality, ensures ongoing continuity in the Church's direction. Tornielli further emphasized that the Pope's empowerment of regional bishops and lay experts, integral to his governance model, significantly mitigates potential disruptions arising from his hospitalization. This strategic decentralization, set in place well before his recent medical crisis, facilitates smoother administrative operations, minimizing potential gaps in leadership. While we continue to follow his treatment closely, remember that our special ebook gift is almost gone. Download your free copy before they're all claimed. Moreover, theologians and church historians offered reflections on the lasting spiritual legacy he has already established, independent of his physical condition. Professor Massimo Fagioli, a respected scholar of contemporary Catholicism, highlighted how the Pope's teachings emphasizing mercy, social justice, environmental stewardship, and human dignity have profoundly reshaped Catholic discourse globally. His encyclicals, particularly Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti, are now foundational documents guiding future church leaders and communities, ensuring his influence endures beyond immediate health concerns. Furthermore, prominent Catholic commentators noted how Francis's vulnerability has paradoxically strengthened his moral authority. By openly acknowledging his health struggles, he has modeled a powerful message of resilience, humility, and genuine pastoral care, inspiring church members worldwide to embrace greater compassion and authenticity. Religious media stressed this stronger spiritual connection, stressing that his influence and legacy are likely to grow even more because he was willing to be open about his flaws. If this message makes you think, and you feel it connects with you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Also, if you really want to support our work and help us keep creating valuable content, consider giving us a super thanks. Join this amazing community and don't miss any news. In the end, while there are quiet conversations about succession and continuity in the Church, most experts agree that Pope Francis's carefully laid foundations, as well as spiritual teachings, will guide the Catholic Church for decades to come, no matter what happens with his health right now.